Hello guys, I'm Winter Cosmos and we're back with another video. I'm gonna continue to finish off the TouchStarved. Took me some time because my dumb-headed dummy decided when I was going through files that I was just gonna abruptly delete some without really considering what I was doing until it was a little too late, and a couple hours later I realized what I did. And I spent like a good 4 hours trying to relocate those files. Got like stuff to help relocate those files, and yeah, it didn't do me anything because all it did was make my computer even slower than it should have been. So I had to sit there and reboot it to the original setting, and it kind of helped. Everything's kind of running a lot better, so that's the plus. But in the downfall to that, few of my games didn't save on my hard drive like I wanted it to, and I honestly took that risk because I didn't want a laggy computer. Everything was just laggy, like my mouse would not move anywhere. And so this happened to be one of the files that got affected, and I had to sit here and figure out where exactly we stopped at to proceed forward, because yeah, I ended up deleting a file that was important, but here we are. So let's go ahead and continue off. So I don't remember where exactly we stopped at. I already forgot, but I'll just start from here. Listen, I appreciate the offer, but my problem can't be solved by a group of good Samaritans. Oh, that's right. Right click. Oh, whoops. So I happened to accidentally look away for a couple of seconds and right clicked out of habit. So I'll just read from this part, the part that I wasn't able to read. To my chagrin, Leander nods slowly. Then your problem must be fairly serious if the Samaritans is your first choice. You're searching for a magical solution, aren't you? My eyes widen when he nods along, as though he suspected all along. I'd be happy to help you out, that is, if you'll tell me what aligns you. Leander might not work for the Sabura, but he is a mage, and a powerful one at that if his demonstration earlier is any indication. I'm silent, plagued by indecisions. I don't know if I can trust him, but it's not like I have any alternatives. I'd hate to admit it, but this could be my only path forward. My confession comes out in a pained whisper. I'm cursed. Cursed. Oh, now I'm very curious. What kind of curse? Something celestial or more recent? He looks me up and down, taking in my face, my eyes, and finally my hands. It's your hands, isn't it? I waited until I'm certain my voice will remain steady before answering. My touch is dangerous. It changes people, hurts them. Before I could even finish, Leander begins taking his glove off. He tucks his left hand free and flexes his fingers. Let's see it. He offers me his hand, and a plasmic flash of magic rips across his palm. But I'm already shrieking backwards. I can't. I don't care how confident Leander is. I can't bring myself to hurt him. To see his face twisted into a mask of madness. Believe me, this isn't an ordinary curse. I'll be fine. Perhaps where you come from, your elevations was strange and one of a kind. But spend a year in this city and you'll see 1,000 curses. And Thres has many curses. Do you really think Curtis would have sent you here if I couldn't handle it? How should I know? I only met him today. I'm as good as any mage in the Suburbs. Better, even. If they can help, so can I. You don't know what you're asking me. I'm asking you to trust me. I look from Leonard's outstretched hand to his confident smile. So I was doodling over the fact that he does literally have a confident smile, and I was like, wait, what? So I just stared at it, and then I forgot I was playing. Then with a short breath, I began unwinding the bandages from my hand. Fine, but if you lose control, don't say I didn't warn you. You can tie me up first if it makes you feel better. Tie him up first. With each joint I expose, I grow more and more certain that this is a terrible idea. Ready when you are. If he's bothered by the way my hand looks, he doesn't show it. My fingers hover shakily over his palm. 3, 2, 1. Ooh, we gotta save. Return. Screw it. We're gonna go all for it. I tap his paw once, as quickly as possible. It's barely more than a brush, but that's all it ever takes. And when I look at his face, expecting to see the worst, Leander only grins. See? It can't be. This time when I reached out to touch Leander's palm again, he catches my wrist before I can pull away. I told you, there's really nothing to worry about. He tails off with my thumb, brushes the soft skin of his inner wrist. I search Leander's face for traces of madness, but his eyes remain a clear, soft green. Color rises in his cheek, but he remains still except for the sudden bobbing of his throat. Oh, Leander's blushing. You know, for someone who's blushing, I wouldn't really expect this response from Leander. He definitely seems like a guy that would pick up girls, rather that be for one night stands or whatever. I would not have expected that response at all. Like, I would have figured he would already be used to this kind of thing. Given his age, I would be under the impression he has more experience. So to see him blush obviously means, like, yeah, he's still shy about things. Oh, well, that too. Let's appreciate that blush. Alright, let's move on. Neither of us speak as I trace the contours of Leonard's paw. He has a paw! I mistook him as a cat or a dog or something. Neither of us spoke as I traced the contours of Leander's palm, lost in the awareness I wasn't prepared for. I've been with other people, kissed them, been embraced by them, and more, but not like this. My fingers, long deprived by years of bandaging, pick up every single detail, the grove of his palm, the smooth shell of his nails, the pulse of his heart. For as long as I've lived, I've never been able to hold someone's hand, not without dire consequences. I've never realized what I was missing until this moment. And while Leander's pulse is steady, mine is hovering as fear gives way to excitement. Oh, what are we gonna do? Let's save. Oh, we're so excited. I mean, if this is the first time we've ever actually physically touch someone with our fingers, I feel like all logic's just gonna burst away. So honestly, with that, your impulse is gonna even show some more, so we're just gonna go right for it. My hand glides over Leander's wrist and up to his forearm, where smooth skin abruptly gives way to the raised scar by the edge of his sleeve. It matches the one that runs from his collar to cheekbone. Could it be the same wound? I glance at Leander's face, and his lips part as he considers his words before speaking. Am I the first person you've been able to touch like this? Wow, he's got some really nice green eyes. They're like that soft emerald color. Like, emerald's such a deep, rich color, but it looks really pale and softer compared to that. My hand goes still on his arm. So far, I'll admit, your touch does make it somewhat difficult to say level-headed, but not due to your power. Well, I mean, if he goes touching somebody's arm like that, that very much intrudes into like an intimate space. Like, that could mean many things. So for him to blush, which is adorable, and he looks away, is adding to that adorableness. It's kind of funny because we're sending signals. Do we mean to send the signals? I don't know. To be determined. He takes my hand, his soft green eyes flicker to mine before he turns to inspect the gold faucets crisscrossing my knuckles. Look, we match. He points at a golden pin on his coat collar, and I give him a small smile. I'm guessing this part right here. So I'm guessing this part. Is it glowing, or is it just me assuming it's glowing? Because this one's not glowing, but this one is. So I'm assuming that's the comparison. I draw my head back and I draw my hand back and take a steadying breath. My head feels as though it's stuffed with cotton. Habit along guides me through the motions of rewrapping my hand, although my fingers tremble too much for the bandages to lie flat. I can't believe that work. May I ask your name? I'm Winter. You're right to hide this from me, Winter. That curse of yours. It's unlike anything I've ever dealt with. I can tell you're discreet, but you best not go showing that off to anyone else. I didn't plan on it. Are you staying in Lowtown? I pause. Room and board was something I hadn't yet considered. I don't know. Let's get you properly settled then. He has such an adorable little face. The Wet Wake is notably quieter. Without their leader, most of the bloodhounds have dissipated, or in a few cases fallen asleep besides their drinks. Got any rooms left, or did my lot grab them all to sleep it off? The bartender, who I now realize doubles as an innkeeper, slides a key onto the counter. You know, I always keep the corner room open for your escapades. Leander's laugh sounds slightly stained. Oh, he's blushing again. See, that's exactly what I said, is I feel like he's had prior, like, experience with women, but the fact that he still blushes is pretty adorable within itself. Maybe he never felt like a deeper connection with them is what it could be, like that one assumption. There could be multiple assumptions on that, but it's just so interesting to see him blush, which throws me off. And I always appreciate it, but you're mistaken. This is just for my friend Winter. Oh, you're gonna make it so much worse. You're gonna make it so much worse. Sure. Stay as long as you like. You two have fun. Escapees, huh? Leander clears his throat and then holds the key out to me. But I hesitate. My coin purse barely holds enough for a day's worth of meals, let alone a room. How much do I owe you? Nothing. Bloodhound rates. My treat, since you shared your secret. Food, drink, a warm bed, and anything you need. Oh, you're such a flirt, my man. Carefully, I take the key from him. It's small, but weighs heavily in my palm. I never expected to have a warm bed in Edorai, let alone free meals. Thank you. Go explore, Winter. You'll find many roads in Edorai, each leading to different answers. But if you need a reparo from what haunts you, come find me. Just be careful. I nod, taking one last look at the glimmering booze. I mean, there is a bunch of booze in the back. I nod, taking one last look at the glimmering bronze key before tucking it into the pocket of my coat for safekeeping. Leander gives me one last friendly wave before I depart. The air clunks Oh, did it again. And I looked away for 1 second and I keep doing that. The air clings soggy and heavy. Without the morning crowd, the sunless streets look buried and bleak. Even the paddlers are long gone, and only a pair of crows remain, quabbling over stale crusts in a gutter. I feel a ridiculous ping of envy. At least they got a reason to fight. I've never felt so lost. Chris and Leander both made it clear that Sombra can't be trusted, but I've gone so far, endured so much. I need to see the Sombra for myself, if only to satisfy my curiosity. I should have asked someone at the bar for directions before leaving. Oh, hello. It got dark. I'm about to turn back when a shadow passes over me. A cloud, I think, until a poof of hot air tickles the back of my neck. The shadow runs down the streets in revelance, formless dark, spreads like ink into a booted shape. Claws stretch, a muzzle splits open to reveal long, jagged teeth. A growl rumbles so low and deep, I feel it. I want to run, to scream, but I feel trapped, as though the slightest movement or a single breath will snap the jaws around me shut. No, I won't let it end like this. And if I'm going to die, I want to see what got me first. I steel myself and then turn. The shadows vanish as quickly as it came, and I'm left standing in the middle of the street, alone except for a figure reclining in the shade of a nearby stoop. Hello! Was not expecting you. Is he a cat or does he resemble like a fox? He's definitely giving me more fox vibes, but the other reason why I brought up the cat is because, like, I'm not sure if there's ever been a red cat like that, but it's like giving me orange cat vibes. Just like the chaoticness of him. But backtracking to that, he's definitely more of a fox resemblance because of the deep Carson red that he has. Seems very foxy-ish. I love the fluffy tail. Wait, can we see? Oh, he has a collar on and a strap right there. It's kind of giving me what is it? The genie kind of style, like the attire that genies would wear. It's kind of giving me that vibe. A monster. Well, I mean, he is a monster, but he's a neko. A fox neko. A monster. That much is clear from a glance. One that could nearly be mistaken for a human were it not for the trifle ears, the tail curved around his ankle. We don't get to see that. I want to see the tail curved around his ankle. That would have been so cute. Or handsome or whatever. I wouldn't know how you would describe that scene, but it would be interesting, I guess. Yeah, interesting is a word for it. Unique and interesting. Are the dusk pink eyes with pupils that sharpen like needles when they fall on me? Our eyes meet and the monster uncrosses his long legs. I didn't realize he had pink eyes. I thought they were red, if anything. They don't look that pink. Or maybe it's the shadowing at the moment, the way they contoured his face for this particular scene. It's giving me more red than pink. His hair glims a shade of red that reminds me unsettlingly of blood where it curves around his collared throat. That's a very interesting way to describe what you're seeing. Jumpy, aren't you? His tone is so light and carefree that I glance over my shoulder to make sure he's speaking to me. And when I look back, the stranger plops his chin on his knuckles and regards me with an indescribable little smile. Didn't you see that shadow just now? It was massive and moved like a beast. Even as I speak, I'm aware how ridiculous I must sound, but the stranger's smile doesn't falter. The only beasts I've seen are the Wicked's drooling regulars, though this did catch my eye. With a flourish of his hand, my in-room key appears dangling from his finger. It turns on its chains, glittering when it catches the light. Alright, let's see what he looks like full blown. Oh, I love his floofy little tail. I never got gloves that kind of half cover the hand, especially when it's inverted where it covers the front part but not the last two in the back. That's interesting. I do like the pants. I like the waistline, the design of the waistline. I wonder if those are weapons or something. Like, they're very sharp and unique design for that waistline right there. My hands fly to my coat's pocket, and sure enough, found them flat. He coaxed his finger, beckoning. I'm already taken 2 steps forward before some shuffle instincts stops me. Something feels wrong. I'm still on the edge, thundering with so much adrenaline that the stranger's shadow flickers at the edges of my vision. Oh, so that's what we felt in the back of us. I always attract the worst kind of attention, but I can't get riled now. Uh-oh. What does this say? Where did you find it? Oh, he looks cunning enough, and he looks like he loves to play with sarcasm. Like I could definitely see him saying something to us. So let's see. Who said that key's mine? His smile widens enough to reveal pointed canines. I saw you drop it. You really should be more careful. City like this, somebody might take advantage. A bold-faced lie, said without a hint of irony. A bold-faced lie said without a hint of irony. I can't figure out how he picked my pockets under my nose, but I'm certain he took my key, and I need it back. I approached the man, carefree to keep an arm's length away. He doesn't look dangerous, but the most deadly ones never do. Oh my gosh, did you all see that? His little ear moved! Oh my gosh. But let's take a moment. Okay, so now we can definitely see the pink in his eyes. I kind of forget, I'm the one pointing. I'm moving my hands to the screen, but you guys can't. You guys wouldn't be able to see that. So I constantly pointed at the screen, and I'm just probably looking dumb, and all I'm saying is, look at that! So I'll try to point with my mouse, if I can remember. Pretty little eyes. See, they look a little bit more red, though, than pink. Well, I did describe it as dusk pink, so I guess that would be a little dimmer in color. The ends look a little bit dark, like a fox. Interesting color. And an offset purple, like a deeper purple. Interesting. The stranger's chin softly clicks with the tilt of his head. His ears flick. Keeping your distance. I'd be stupid to trust you. You think I stole your dinky little key from all the way over there? He gives an exaggerated sigh. I'm good with my hands, but not that good. Do I really look like a common thief to you? He got me there. The sheer fabric of his sleeves alone would be too expensive for most street thieves. Hell, his shoes look like they cost more than I spent traveling here. And then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, part pink curtains only ever meant one thing. Then there's the shop behind him. No matter the city, parted pink curtains only ever mean one thing. I'm not looking to buy, and I doubt I could afford your service anyway. Lucky for you, I don't charge. Ooh, what? What do you mean? You what? Is this supposed to mean like the red light district? Or a red light? Well, I guess it would be red light, right? Or is it just the red district? This would be called the pink district for them. The man runs the tip of his tongue over a fang, and for the first time, I've stepped into that shadow. I feel something other than dread. Ooh! Oh! That made me blush. The girl is falling for this foxy man. My face grows hot. Oh my goodness. That little description of the teeth sounds like what everyone wants to read in their fantasy books. If it's that good of a description, you know you're in for a good adventure. That's not what I meant. I'm flattered, really. Were sex my trade, I might make an exception for you. How about half off for a handy? Or you could just hand over the key. Oh. Or you could just hand over my key. Now slightly, and I might even let you tug my tail. Wait, what? Is that really an option? Like, I really want to tug your tail. Like, is it gonna be soft? Is it gonna be floofy? Is it gonna feel like hair, like smooth hair with the perfect right kind of conditioning? And then it just is like this smooth combing. Just throw it here. So some sprunty little street urchin can snatch it and run. Oh, he looks mad. He looks like the kind of character, if he doesn't get his way, he's gonna be upset about it. And that might just be your punishment. Who knows what type of punishment that is, but that's why we're here to figure out what there is. He raises my key and tilts his head so he can watch it dangle back and forth. I suppose I could just claim your room for myself. Not that I'd be caught dead slumbering in the wick with the rest of those slack-jawed imbeciles. You're obviously not from around here, so tell me, traveler, what misfortune brought you to this wicked place? His voice practically drops with derision. I'm not telling you anything. What could have possibly drawn you to this dreary little pig pen, I wonder? He listlessly watches the arc of my key swinging around his finger. The weather's shit, the food's dreck, and there's entirely too many monsters for a human to feel safe. Unless... Dagger-shaped eyes flicker towards me. They glimmer with amusement. Nice! That's what he looks like. Full front vision. He's holding his hand exactly how I'm holding myself right now with my face. Unless you're just dying to court. Consort. That's funny. Unless you're just dying to consort with monsters. By now, my embarrassment has worn away, leaving shimmering impatience in its place. If this is a shakedown, it's the most frustrating one I've ever heard of. Oh, we get to flirt back or turn him down. I mean, we're all here. We're all trying to romance something, so we're gonna go for it. Full throttle. How do you know I spent all my money, starved and nearly dead in a swamp just so I can crawl into bed with the first thirsty monster I saw? That earns me a burst of breathy laughter. He gazes at me under his dark lashes. Aren't you funny? Could you be any more obvious? I have been told subtlety's not my strength. So, your place or mine? Oh. He is very daring. I love the change in atmosphere between all the characters you get to interact with. You got the doctor who is just like, has a sense of practical to himself and isn't afraid to speak up. He's very much like, rules are set for what they are. And then you got, Leander? Yeah, Leander, who is just... He could be a cinnamon pie. A cute little cinnamon pie with maybe more underneath. Like, he has an adorable personality from the small interaction we saw with him. And then you got this dude. This dude is truly a cunning fox. I honestly believe he's a fox. The way he's speaking to us, interacting with us, is giving me like Nine-Tail Fox. Like the way that their mythological is kind of introduced is that they're very cunning. They get what they want, and they'll say certain things to kind of like boost their way into whatever they want. So we'll go with that one. If only I had my key, then I might be able to invite you up. His languid gaze glides from me to the key in his hand and back. Come, take my hand and we'll go together. The more he flirts, the more convinced I become that this is some kind of trap. No matter how innocent monsters look, they always have tricks up their sleeves. And something tells me that this one's more dangerous than he lets on, even if he has a lovely laugh. But I wish we could hear the laugh. Like, I want to hear how they sound, and sometimes I enjoy like visual novels that have a bit of voice acting that contributes to the storyline, because it kind of helps give breath to these characters. Not that I'm saying that the text won't, but like if you add voice acting, it's very much giving more leeway that this character has a sense of feelings to them, is more than the text itself. I don't know what you want or why you're messing with me, but I'm not coming any closer until I know you aren't going to attack or bite. Now, is the biting involved if we ask with consent? Is that gonna be a thing? If we get that with consent? I won't bite hard unless you beg me. Oof. Oh. My goodness. Gotta take a moment. Woo! Now that is something you want to read in a book. This is giving all, like, it's like one of those, I'm not sure for men, but maybe there is some books for men that they enjoy when a female perspective is kind of offering them that. But I know for females, the moment they have like the right kind of text and the right kind of like environment and emotional adaptance, the moment they slap you with this line, you're just like, ooh, I'm gonna have to read that 5 more times, and then I'm gonna have to take a break for 10 minutes because dang, that was embarrassing and it made us blush. No matter what I say, he finds a way to twist my words into a innuendo. Even when I'm silent, he goes on as though we're having a conversation, not a standoff. Do you like dancing? There's a traveling troupe performing in the high town tonight. The Illustrial is utterly exquisite, truly a performance to die for. There's life in this dreadful place, if you know where to look. You sound like you know the city well. The man's gaze flickers from me to the key dangling from his finger. Naturally, this dump was a little more than a miserable little smurl when I first arrived. High town, low town, I know Erin like the back of my hand. And what about the Cerbera? Do you know where that is? His smile vanishes. Surely you've seen it. That absurd. Surely you've seen it, that absurdly large tower glooming over the rest. It's a little hard to miss. He must mean that spiral I noticed when I first caught a glimpse at Edera. The Simburan's overrated. Forget it. The Simburan's overrated. Forget about it. I can show you things these snuffling boars in their lumpy dick tower couldn't even dream of. I already got plans. Oh, and you have some pressy matters at the Simbura. Lunch dates with librarians, tea times with the most obscene abyss. That's my business. What's it matter to you? I square my shoulders and the amusement bleeds out of him. Your loss. The stranger, finally bored of his tenuous game, extends his hand towards me. The key rests on his palm, neatly dividing skin and leather. When he makes no other move, I reach for the key, but as soon as my fingers graze smooth brass, his hand springs shut around my elbow. Hey! Oh, hello. You're a whole lot closer than you need to be. He yanks me down and I stagger, my soul slipping on the steps. For a sick moment, I fear my bandages will unravel under his touch, but he's careful not to disturb them even as his fingers dig into my arm. I knew I smelled blood. You reek of death on the road. And that fucking doctor. His voice, once silk, lowers to a smoky growl. The shadows around him seethe and boil as he pulls me closer. And something else. He murmurs against my throat, nose grazing my jaw. Let go! I try to twist away, but he doesn't budge. His breath trails down my neck, sending a throb of dread through me. But just when I fear he'll bite, he takes a deep whiff instead. His wide, flat eyes gleam with a naked hunger as he glares up at me. That's interesting. I kind of like that. It kind of gives like, what would it be? Like a feral instincts. A feral instincts. Kind of like, have you ever noticed a dog when they sniff? They sniff for a while and they're like very into this smell and they're trying to distinguish what the smell is. And they have like a weird sense of like, their eyes look kind of different when they're doing that. I know for cats it's a little more evident. I don't know about foxes. But I definitely do think if it becomes a territorial thing, it's probably more predominant in that. Not quite human and not quite monster. Seems we're both. Veer! The stranger's ears flatten, and he releases me with a short breath. I yank my arm back, massaging it where his grip left grooves in the bandages. The stranger twists around to watch a woman duck out from the curtains behind him. Her press uniform marks her as a cleric at the Sombrero. I leave you for all, what, 10 minutes and you're making trouble again? Will you quit harassing the tourists? The stranger, Vamir, I take it, rolls his eyes and flashes the cleric a withering smile. So suspicious, can't you see this is a friend of mine? A natural liar, he grins at me and his tail swishes minutely. The woman presses her lips at me, clearly unconvinced. I open my mouth to correct him, but Vamir cuts in. I was graciously offering my dear friend some free advice. Though his voice remains light and cheerful, his expressions darkens. Danger draws to you like a moth to flame. It will always find you when given time. The woman clinks her tongue as though she's heard this recital 102 times. Word of advice? Don't take free advice from lazy foxes lounging in the streets. This crook would sell water to a drowning man for the sheer enjoyment of it. Oh, he is a fox. That's pretty cool. Yay, we finally get confirmation. She shrugs off a winning look from Vamir. Oh, please, any friend of yours knows it's true. Now hold still. Vamir rises gracefully at her approach. He pushes his hair aside so it drapes over one shoulder, exposing the long line of his neck. And suddenly it draws on me. And suddenly it dawns on me that the jingling I heard earlier wasn't coming from the harness attached to his collar, but a leash. So this is his leash? It's an interesting concept for a human leash. Or I guess a monster, as they would describe them in this scenario. A heavy iron chain wound around a hitchhiking post and padlocked to the back of his collar. Vamir poses deliberately to hide his leash from me. The woman produces a key ring from her pocket. She rifles through a dozen identical keys before selecting one and sliding it into the lock. Come on, unless your friend's tagging along on our merry little soulless hunt. They're hunting for solace in the city? They're hunting for solace inside the city. Words momentarily fail me. What? Huh? The woman regards me with a polite, if tight smile before marching down the stairs. Vermeer lingers. He stretches his arms over his head with a yawn, and I try not to stare at the way his stomach flattens when he arcs his back. Oh, show, show, show. That is definitely a show. Your little secret's safe with me. Try not to get yourself killed. Vermeer hops off the stoop and bounds after the woman, his tail swagging merrily, as though he hadn't just lied and threatened me. Did you try that thing I mentioned? The Latu knot? That's the one where you take 3 fingers and... Actually, don't tell me. Knowing you, it's disgusting. Vamir's airy laughter echoes down the street. It's only after he and the killer have vanished from sight that I realize I'm still missing something. Wait! Reflectively, I shove my hands into my pockets and find it, the room key. I pull it out of my pocket and rise it to the light just to be sure. A nagging feeling distracts me from my relief. I don't know what Vermeer's game was or what he wanted from me. All I know for certain is that the sombrero saw fit to leash him if I could share, if that's what his vaguer warning meant. I let my eyes drift skyward, past the lanterns gently swaying in the breeze to the sombreros faintly visible through the haze. Just one glance is all I need, and then I can put this all behind me. This time, the key goes in my coin purse for safekeeping. It's easy enough to follow this sluggy river that splits Indra into two. A colossal bridge arches over the dark water below. I cross as quickly as I can, climbing ever uphill towards the distant tower. Hours later, legs aching, sweat beading on my forehead, I finally found what I was searching for. The sombrero of the luminous void. The sombrero of the luminous void. It stands at the highest peak at Eran, surrounded by cold white walls. Well-dressed people stroll down the walkways, paying no attention to the massed tower in their midst. I'm the only one standing before the gates. I crown my neck up and up until the top of the sombrero tower disappears into the clouds overhead. My stomach gives me an uneasy lurch. Though far grander than the humble shrine of my youth, the sombrero gives the same impression of being a gilt birdcage. Knocking seems like a terrible idea, but I don't see any other way of making my presence known. I'm halfway up the stairs when something moves in my peripheral vision. A shadowy figure conches beneath one of the white walls. They reach out and tug on a vine as if testing its strength. Oi! You there! The shadow vanishes as quickly as I spot it, and a grunted-faced man in a crust charcoal uniform marches up the stairs towards me. Ugh, another tourist. Get out of here once you're done gawking. A dismissive wave accompanies his equally dismissive words, and he turns on his heel without even waiting for a response from me. I look back at where I saw the intruder, but there's nothing, just the leaves blowing gently into a cold breeze. I step away from the gates, hopelessness washes over me. Hello. I whisper so close I could feel the warm brush of breath on my skin. I instinctively jerk away, but there's no one besides me. Halfway down the staircase, I spot a woman swaying in the breeze. She's grunt as a rail, her blouse moth-eaten. I'm unable to take my eyes off of her, not because of the way she smiles a little too widely, or the way her tousled braids look unbrushed for days, but because her eyes shine a vibrant, unnatural carson. I am both entranced and unsettled by their sudden glow. These days, you'll need a miracle to get in there. I'm unsure how to respond, even if I should. Her gaze is uncomfortably fixed on me, heavy as lead. Ooh, now we gotta save. I really don't want to respond sarcastically. Let's just, say nothing. After the experience I just had, I'm not too keen on indulging strangers with small talk. Despite my silence, she maintains her flickering stare and smile. Lucky for you, I have a miracle for free. Whatever she's selling, I'm not interested. My words come out in a tired breath. No thanks. I start down the stairs, but she abruptly steps in my path. She turns her back to me, and before I could react, she slips her fingers under the lace of her collar, stripping out her blouse in broad daylight. What are you do? And as worn fabric unravels bare skin, my panic is smothered by cold horror. A misshapen, sunken scar carves into the woman's body. Pettied, grovel skin snakes down her shoulders, blooming from a gaping hole in the back of her neck. A shuddering breath escapes me. The fuck? Whatever disease this woman had ate away at her from the inside out. How is she able to move or breathe? It's impossible. She shouldn't be alive, and yet... The power to cure anything can be yours too. The power of the sea spring. The woman slides back into her blouse and definitely laces it up. If I caught your interest, then follow me. That's only a short walk away. Without another glance, she leisurely scrolls down the Simbura stairs. Loose braids bobbling behind her, the edge of her scarf peeks out from under her collar. I stand there, wordless, till I manage to regain my bearings. It's a twisted miracle, but a miracle nonetheless. This could be the stupidest decision in my life, but what choice do I have? I take a final look at the Simbura's shut gates and then follow her down the steps. We descend from the higher streets, leaving behind their gilded decadence as we cross the wet derelict districts feel more familiar to me. But the Carson-eyed woman takes me further, then further still, until I'm met with an all too familiar sight. My gut lynches when I face the open horizon. The city outskirts are hardly recognizable in the daytime, and probably safer for it, but venturing beyond Edoran's wall is a gamble I wasn't prepared to take so soon. Keep going straight, and the sea spring will reveal itself to you. I bark out a bitter laugh, loud and involuntarily. These are such good choices. This would be a great, like, sarcastic response, so we'll go with the top one first. Are you kidding me? It's not safe out there. You're as safe inside the city as out of it. Truthfully, the territory before you is the safest of all. What do you mean, territory? This region belongs to Estes. Most people know him as the gang leader, but he's much more than that. I squint against the empty wasteland. Only a fool or someone with nothing to lose would leave the city. Apparently, I'm both. But if this sea spring cured her, I need to see what it can do for me. I set off into the wastes. Over my shoulder, the woman calls after me. Good luck, Winter. I hope we can meet again. How does she know our name? We didn't even tell her our name. When did we tell her our name? I don't remember speaking to this woman about her name. My heart pounds with each step I take from civilization. It doesn't take me long to realize it's not the only heartbeat I hear. Like a nagging thought at the back of my mind, I can sense another pulse throbbing through the earth beneath my feet. I felt this presence before when I stepped out of Kara's clinic, a living dread coursing underneath the city. Only this time, I'm getting closer to it.